Alright, so what's going on, everybody? In this video we're going to be talking about whether Akuma is good or not. With that being said, let's discuss. Alright, so is he good? Yes. Right? When fully optimized. What do I mean by this? I mean, this character definitely has a lot of stuff to put you in the blender, right? There's definitely a lot of stuff that are really strong options. He has really good footsie tools. This button is insane, by the way. If you didn't know, he has a lot of disjointed moves. If you don't know what a disjoint is, disjoint essentially means that the hurt box of the move is more inward or closer to his body as opposed to the actual limb that he's sticking out, which is the hitbox, meaning that it's harder to hit him out of this than it is for you to mix it up. It's harder for you to hit him out of this than it is for him to hit you, right? Because his hurt box is more receded and his hitbox is outwards, right, where it should be. So it makes it a little bit hard to whiff punish this character. Another thing to note is the fact that he has an amazing walk speed. Like, look at him move, bro. Like, he's actually moving. You know what I mean? Like, he's walking with purpose right now. If you want to compare, right? And then let's actually have her walk backwards. And then we're gonna walk forward while she's walking backwards. Like, you see what I mean? Caught up in a second. Immediately, right? So the walk speed is great. So how do we go about playing this character, right? So far, granted it's only been one day as of this point, but so far what I've noticed is that people want to mix up using their air fireball to get in spaces. Now with that being said, you do have to be a little bit more mindful of where you plant these, because what can end up happening is that if you do this haphazardly, what can happen to you is that you can get blown up. And honestly, Manon is one of those characters that can pretty much blow you up for any sort of aerial movement outside of a normal jump, but even then a normal jump can still get blown up. Like that EX up kicks in general will blow it up, but that's just a Manon thing, don't worry about it. So if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you need some help. Lord knows I did at some point, but here's the thing, you want your favorite content creators to come and help you, but let's be real, they're charging like $60 per hour. You don't need that, but when I got you good. Over on this channel, I do free coaching sessions on Tuesdays and on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. EST. So what does that look like? I essentially go over your matches. I give you tools so that you can succeed the next time you open up rank. So once again, join my Discord. Wait till I'm live either on Tuesdays or on Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. EST. Be there or be square. And yeah, I'm not your favorite pro, but I'm available. Those pros are not available. So once again, join the live, get better, and I'll help you improve. Back to the video. So with that being said, what other options does he have, right? This is also a very strong option. So what I've seen people do is go for something like this, right? And because you can delay when you land, you can essentially throw off the timing in which they go for it. You can also, and because it's plus, you can continue to enforce your will upon them, right? So knowing that this is plus, right? People were gonna press this button quite a bit. And if you find that your opponents are pressing this repetitively, it is technically not real, meaning that you can technically mash out of this situation, but if they go for a jab afterwards, then that's when it becomes real. They can actually go for a light kick. Yo, this is Editor Noza coming in real fast. I do notice now looking back at it that I did not talk about the other options, and I do apologize, but I'll take this moment real fast to go over it. So outside of the demon chop, there's also the dive kick, there is the low, as well as there's the cancel, right? As for the dive kick, The dive kick can be a little bit finicky to use, to be honest with you, but it is a fairly good option. I do like the versatility of the chop a little bit more than the dive kick, which is why I spent a little bit more time talking about that as opposed to the dive kick. As for the low, I think the low has very niche uses, because the issue at hand with it is generally the fact that you kind of have to wait for the entire animation to go, and then he'll hit the ground, right? So the kick itself, the low itself, comes out when you just let it rock and you don't do anything. So that's when it comes out. You do have to keep it in mind that it's a little bit more niche. You can possibly sneak it into your gameplay, but it's not something you're going to be going towards pretty often. As for the cancel, what you can do is that you can go from light tatsu into the cancel. Once you use the light tatsu into cancel, you can essentially be anywhere between +3, +2. I've seen a couple situations where you're +4, but again, don't quote me on it. We're still a little bit new with the character. With that being said, we're gonna let myself get back to work. See ya. And speaking of light kicks, I think he has a very strong light kick. Now, what makes a strong light kick is its distance appropriate to his body, right? Because not all of the things in this game can be punished, tend to be a little bit around that -5 round area, and this starts up in 5. You want something that can reach a little bit longer than your crouch jab, so that you can get the specific punishes on those things. Now, one of the issues that you may come across is converting. Now, the reason why it may be a little bit difficult to convert is that we have buttons like this, right? And situations like this. So if you're not aware, you have to be pretty mindful of whether your opponent is standing and or crouching, because if your opponent is crouching, right, there are certain things that change in regards to your routing. So this is just something that you need to keep in mind while playing the character. There are definitely ways around that. However, it is definitely in your best interest to make sure that you're choosing more neutral routes, as opposed to routes that take a little bit more knowledge to go ahead with, right? And another thing that I want to go over is the fact that he has a really strong safe jump that can put him in the best situation that possible. Okay, so it kind of looks to something to the extent of 1 second, right? You sweep them and then you jump in. Now, after Tatsu leaves you afloat, this is something that you need to keep in mind. The light Tatsu will whiff on crouchers, so you have to be, again, mindful of the route that you take in regards to this, right? And in order to do this, all you have to do is do the light Tatsu into your sweep. From there, you get the pressure, right? You can use this to also bait out parry. Go for a throw, kind of scare him that way. With that being said, let's talk about his command throw. So if you didn't know, his command throw is forward or back, all 3 kicks. Okay, follow it up. All you got to do is press grab and you get it. So what you can start to do, right, if you know that your opponent is going to try and parry immediately, what we can decide to do is we can simply go for a fake out here, and then we can hit them hard, right? It's a good way to keep them on their feet and keep them honest, because people are gonna start to know the fact that this is a safe jump, and then they'll try immediately to get out the situation by trying to parry or like a DP or whatever have you, right? And it's a good way to check them for it. With that being said, right, let's talk about his neutral. So when it comes to his neutral, ideally you're going to be kind of throwing this out. This is going to be your big whiff punishing button, right? It is a really strong option, as well as your standing heavy punch. Standing heavy punch is also a very good option. You do have forward heavy punch, but there is quite a bit of startup there, so I'm not going to lean into it too much. But standing heavy punch and crouching medium punch and crouching medium kick are going to be your main buttons. Out of the crouching medium kicks, in my personal and humble opinion, I don't think out of all the Shotos, that'd be like Ken, Ryu, Luke, I don't think he necessarily has the strongest one, but it's also not a bad one at all, right? So while you're in neutral, you'll be trying to whiff punish using this, possibly this, and this. You can also decide to zone because his fireballs recover so fast, right? This man is like, can go toe to toe with Guile with this thing, right? And if they try to jump at you, you can DP them, right? And it keeps it real easy. And speaking of which, I always teach this, but essentially, if you want to get better at doing the fireball into DP motion, what you want to do is just simply fireball and hold the forward input, right? So why do we hold the forward input? Is that in the case that they jump at us, all we have to do is add in an extra quarter circle forward the moment we see them jump, and we get it. But then you might be asking, you might get this, right? So in order to get out of that situation, we do half circle forward, right? So every time we clean up the inputs by doing half circle forward immediately afterwards, right? So that's essentially how you want to go about it if you want to clean up your inputs and be prepared for DP at the same time. If you're on hitbox, for my hitbox folks, you don't necessarily need to do that. You just need to be ready to do forward down, and you hold the forward down at the same time, and then you press up plus your button, and it'll give you that input. So this is just a little tidbit to help you in regards to zoning with this character. So if you're on controller or whatever, you might want to consider holding that forward button in order to get the inputs a little bit more cleanly. So with that being said, what do you guys think about Akuma? Are you enjoying the character? Are you not? And did this help you? Did it not? And if it didn't, that's okay too. Keep playing your character and have fun out there. With that being said, have a good one, y'all.